The mystery of our oopsie baby has been solved. No! Hi! What's going on over here? Her colostrum is not good enough. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, you guys. We had a set of triplets, but the one was itty bitty. Looks like maybe she stopped developing, I would say, like a few weeks ago. Could be the heat, I don't know, but very, very much stillborn. It wasn't a question of me not being here before 4 a.m. Yes, you did fine. Nice set of twins. I'm just gonna dip them here. Make sure Mom has milk, but I did bring a bottle of colostrum. Just to make sure. I keep coming in every morning expecting there to be a madhouse, but it's Tuesday today. These guys are still 3 days away from their actual due date. Shockingly, it's been a fairly good pace so far. You're cute. Hello, little boy. You have the cutest little eyes. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I painted Mom here. It's so when I go to record her tomorrow and the babies, that I'll remember that she had 3, like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, are you hungry? These fans are lovely in the heat of the day, but when it's a little early, they seem cold. Are you guys cold? You feel very nice and warm. Forgot to check your Mom, remind me. I'm not sure if everyone was around after my last lambing, but I had a really good chat with Rex about our joint ill issues, and I told him like my dipping process and that really was the bottle babies I saw the most infection in, and he said iodine is part of the battle, but getting enough colostrum in them is also the next. So he said, I told him I give everyone colostrum no matter what, and he said it's probably a matter of quantity, so I just probably wasn't giving them quite enough. So now I give them as much as they'll drink. After like 4 or 5 hours, it's almost too late, but when you catch them when they're still wet like this, he said just get it into them, no matter if Mom has milk or not, especially in the colder months, just because they can take a while to get up. Good. Mom's got lots of milk. I actually might do her colostrum looks a little white, like it looks very milky. So I have a refractometer. I haven't used it in a while, but I think I might just test it. Let's see what we're at here. Is it bricks? A bricks meter? And I think over 22 is good. And apparently last time I focused this, I had better vision because it's good. There we go. You're at 30, so she's pretty good. That's the other thing I'm wondering too with this whole joint ill, if the colostrum in that last group just wasn't quite what it should be. And I wasn't really testing it. Sometimes stuff like this is nice to do when you're not busy, but once it's crazy busy and everybody's lambing, it's a little harder to do. But this is a nice little tool, especially if you have issues. Got 100 mils into that one, which is good. Betty. They're hungry. They haven't eaten yet, Mom? You're such a sweetheart. Did you end up doing anything yesterday?
No.
No.
I died. Then I was like, well, maybe a shower will help. Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
You were sort of jonesing for a weekend like that for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why do we do it to ourselves? It ended up being a busy morning, not so much lambing-wise, but just life-wise. I took Lucy back to the vet to get her leg/paw looked at. We still swear it is her paw. She will not let Mark and I near it. Took her to the vet, said, I'm pretty sure it's her paw. She won't let Mark and I near it because he thought it was her shoulder. He grabbed her paw and assessed it and played with it, played with every single toe, and she didn't do a thing. She didn't even flinch. She didn't even react. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? $400 in x-rays later, showed nothing. So, not sure what's going on with her. Anyway, so that's done. We just opened up a new bag of haylage, so we got some samples from that. This morning I did notice my ewes were eating much better, and I think it's the weather. I think it's been too hot, whereas this rain cooled off the barn. So I didn't see anyone lagging, which is great. And we're also getting really close to actual lambing time. So I'm hoping by now they've had the feed into them long enough that they're good. Peta's the only one that's sort of caught my eye. She's miserable. She doesn't really want to eat. She's not acting like it's preg tox. It's more like she's just acting a bit stubborn. So I am watching her. And the other thing we did is I induced those two ewes because I'm like, we're 3 days away from their potential due date. The one ewe looks very full term. She looks like she's got an udder full of milk. The little skinnier one, I'm a little more concerned. I didn't really want to induce her, but she's got the highest ketone levels. So I'm like, it's probably better now than later because it might be just the thing that puts her down. I think for the rest of the day, unless lambing happens, I want to record the lambs that have been born up till yesterday. Oh, and get the nanny going. The ewe that had the triplets, when I first checked her milk supply, I noticed that the one side was very full of milk, but the other side I could barely get any out, and her teat felt a little off, but I was able to get a little drop of milk out. So then I was like, well, the one has lots of milk and the other one didn't have much. So I'm like, maybe they've been only nursing on one side. I am wondering if she does not have enough milk because Carissa said 2 of the lambs have been drinking a lot out of the bottle and 2 of the lambs for me have been drinking a lot. So I think we're gonna have to set up the nanny and get the 2 started on it. It might work out okay because if we can get 2 really good ones on it, they can start training the new ones. Problem is there's only 2. So I do get a bit concerned that they won't keep it fresh enough. All right, I'm just about to start recording lambs. I do this about 24 hours, usually, after they're born. My triplets and these ones were born like 2 nights ago, so they're a little older. And that tends to happen with the first ones. I'm not in a big hurry. I don't need the pens. They can hang out and bond and love, and it's fine. I can keep a good eye, especially on triplets, to make sure they aren't falling behind, which often they do. All I'm doing is putting an RFID tag in their ear. We need that if any lamb goes off the property. You need that. That's a government identification tag, so it can always be traced back to this farm. And then I usually take a weight, a birth weight. I will give it a shot of selenium, and selenium, we give an injection of that. We have selenium in the mineral and stuff for the moms, but for the babies, we just give a little tiny 1/4 ml injection as insurance, sort of. Our soils in this region aren't, we're sort of deficient in selenium, so there's typically added selenium everywhere. And then I'll put a rubber band on their tail, and that's to dock the tail eventually. The tail just, it cuts off the circulation, tail will eventually just fall off. That's my #1 comment. What do you do with the tails? I don't do any, I don't collect them. They just fall off and then they compost in the litter. Some farmers don't do tail docking, and it's just a practice that I started doing when I started sheep farming. Quite often some of the bands will actually roll down or off, so you'll see that some tails are longer than others, just depending on where that band ended up. But my goal is to always cover the holes, if you know what I'm saying. Just keeps their back ends cleaner. Now, flies aren't typically a problem. In saying that, they have exploded since I've cleaned the barn, but fly strike is always usually the reason why we dock tails. Lastly, I will mark them with spray paint. The amount of controversy I get because people don't know what the marks are for. The marks are nothing to be ashamed of. It's to match the moms with their babies, because what happens after they leave these little pens, they go into a big pen with like 20, 25 other moms and babies, and I want to be able to keep an eye on them and make sure they're still with their moms, and if they've wandered off, I can match them back up. Now, I have different colors of paint depending on if they're a single, a twin, a triplet, or a quad. I don't really actually have to do that, I don't think so much anymore, but it's sort of a nice visual. If you did leave triplets out in the wild here, then if one was starting to look really like it's going backwards, then you would know that we should have pulled it off and put it on the nanny. So just for reference, for weights on the triplets that were 5 days premature, at least, the one was 8.1, the second one was 9.6, and the third one was 9.4. So really good sizes for being early. I forgot to tell you guys, the mystery of our oopsie baby has been solved. I talked to Carissa this morning, and we were trying to place where we had these ewe lambs, because last minute when I went to breed these guys, I pulled these ones out. She has a little X on her back, and that's because I put an X on the ones I was pulling out. But I put them in the corner pen, like the first pen, all by themselves, and the breeding group was right beside them. So no, they didn't breed through the fence. We established that. She does remember they were small enough at the time, which is why I didn't breed them. She said they were crawling through the manger and getting to the other side of the gate, and she said she had 3 that did it. We just remembered that this morning. So mystery solved. It was her, and there could be a couple more, but fingers crossed we're in the clear. But in the next couple days, if we have another oopsie or 2, then we know what it was. So yeah, they literally could crawl through there and around the gate and back out like a little lamb. That's how small these guys were. However, she is right beside a mature ewe, and she's a really good size. So did I maybe overreact? I don't know. She's a good mom, and she's got lots of milk. So the timing worked out because she was on a flush ration. So instead of the close-up, she was still getting a very high energy ration. So it worked, but I don't love it because she's not sheared, her hooves weren't trimmed, all the things. She wasn't vaccinated, so I have to do all that with this baby. I'll probably have to call Rex and say, do I vaccinate her separate, or what do I do now? That's why I have a system. But at least we figured out What happened? Oh, hello. Figured out I had the door open. What do you want in here? Grass goes greener, the thing. I guess you guys need an update on how many lambs we have so far. So hold. This is math that I like. I like this sheep math. We have 18 lambs and 9 ewes. So 2 lambs per ewe. No. Hi. You're smart. Wanna try this? I gotta have to raise this a bit. What's going on over here? I did not induce you. Are you pushing? Oh. Good job, Mom. Oh, backwards. You gotta stop pushing for a second. Oh my god. I gotta unfold this leg first. Good. Hi, baby. Hi. Number 2. Alive and well. I think she only has 2. So Craig talks for 2? Interesting. You have a lot of milk. I'm actually going to test her milk because it doesn't look great. Yeah, it's only like 11. Oh, okay. Her left is 20 and her right is like 11. Interesting. Well, I did feed our little babies here. I gave them a good drink of colostrum. The problem with this mom is her colostrum is not good enough for those lambs to get the proper immunity. Glad I have that tester. I haven't used it in quite a few years and I'm feeling kind of sheepish about it. But it wasn't until I talked to Rex about this joint ill that we sort of got to this part of that it could be colostrum quantity and colostrum quality. So now if I see any colostrum that's not yellow enough, like not golden, I'm gonna test it. So if it's white, I'm gonna test it. Her one side was pretty white as well, but it still tested decent. But the other side was really watery and white. So it wasn't good enough. And the test said it wasn't good enough. So another tool that I've picked up along the years and sort of got complacent. It wasn't until this last group I noticed a lot of the colostrum was very, very white. It wasn't as golden as it usually is. So I'm just gonna do this. Stop showing your cleanings or I'm gonna get flagged. Don't look